I put it in her place. Who you think you is, babe? I'm who they wanna be. Got that apple bottom falling out my jeans like it's a tree. Diamonds yellow, bitches think they sippin' tea, but girl, it's pee. Got the game on lock, so who you know could really fuck with me? Spanish poppy, when we talking, I'm bilingual. Don't worry about them other niggas, babe, I'm single. All these bitches wanna copy me like Kinko. Bad bitch posted with me, who is that? That's my amigo. Beat up, got the neighbors in here knocking on the floor. Time to heat up, bad bitch, see her when she walking through the door. If he ain't spend it, she could have him, man, that nigga gotta go. See that it's up, but they still counting all this money on the floor. We been balling off the course, we be really making plays. She don't really want no beef and she can't say it to my face. Girl, that man was never mine, I just was going through a phase. So please control your hoe before I put it in her place.
All wide across the city of endless progress, news is abuzz. Change is afoot. It appears that the organization set to oversight Altered, Nova, is putting its very eyes on the future of New Jump City. What that means, well, you won't find out the arc too. Good morning, afternoon, and/or evening, ladies, gents, and all the internet. Welcome back to New Lines Roleplay. More specifically, welcome back to Jump City Sirens, our little mass odyssey for your lovely eyes. I'm Foxy, here's the duration of stream, and I am thankfully blessed with a table of incredible people, lovely souls, friendly faces, and heroes one and all. I could tell you all about the legendary deeds as I could all night, but instead, I'll let them tell you who they are themselves. So, friends, in order that I call you out, why don't you go ahead and tell me who you are, who you're playing tonight, and where you can be found on the internet. And maybe while you're at it, how you're feeling about all the news you've been putting through recently. Let's start with someone, of course, very near and dear to my own heart. The most expensive bag of groceries for yourself. I'm talking, of course, about Egg-chan.
Oh shit, hi, it's me, Emily, or Egg-chan. I am playing Tsuchi Chao, or number 5, the Soldier Playbook. They're a little confused. Not upset necessarily, because, like, I trust Nova's got a good plan going on, even if I am a little bit surprised by the plan. Did that cover everything?
Seems about like it. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Next, moving along the row, over to an incredible internet sensation, the wonderful and incomparable Ollie P. Senpai.
Yo, I'm Ollie or Ollie Peach Senpai. I play Morphine Aurelia, and you know how she feels about the news? She doesn't. She doesn't care. She just still wants to get out of here. Like, maybe she'll care in the future, but right now she don't give a fuck.
About that getting out of here thing. I mean, what? Yeah, we'll get to that. Anyway, next, and moving along the row, I'm going to throw this aside, over to the mother of mysteries and father of horrors themselves. It is, of course, Meg Mysteria.
Hello, I am Meg, and/or Meg Mysteria, and I play Mel, full name, Melina, also known as Medusa. Well, how she feels about it? She doesn't like it. However, she's about to, be making deals with the devil, so we'll see how it goes.
A deal with the devil, indeed. Might be two of those going around. I mean, what?
Well, you know.
Well, before we get there, and again, I'm going to throw this aside, last but certainly very far from least, is the one and only Corndog McGraw.
It's me, Corndog McGraw. I am playing Cleo, the Banshee, and I think it's just important to remind everyone that laws are threat. And so she's got a lot of qualms, concerns, complete unwillingness, you might say. So we'll see how this new government oversight works.
Well, see your Q words related to current government actions aside. I'm, of course, Young Foxy. I use he, they pronouns, and I play everyone that's not these four lovely people. They're hard to do because they are very good at their jobs. How good? Well, we'll show you right now. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about where the camera first starts itself, as it does not open on our heroes. It instead opens in what looks to be the focused, calm quiet of a laboratory of some kind. There are not dozens of individuals buzzing and battling all around it. There's instead an isolated, simple, quiet place. The lights low, save for a single individual facing a wide screen showing nothing, their back turned to a closed window. As a flick flash of green, two more figures enter the scene, taking a single step forward. Without turning around, the figure speaks. Katrina, you're late. Things to attend to. Always busy on my end. You know that more than anybody else, Dr. Rivers. Can we stop wasting time now? Ever the activist, ever the optimist, ever the forward seeker. Very well, but first, the screen shifts somewhat. A presentation. Have a seat, please. And with that, the panel passes, and we are left back with our intrepid heroes. Dearests, you had some time to work off your, let's say, interesting night. Where you stayed and how you slept is totally up to all of you, but I imagine that all of you left with some conversations to be had. Now, how we choose to have that conversation, whether it's meeting up tomorrow and hanging out to get some conversation in, or whether it's staying up all night on a late night FaceTime call, that's up to you, friends. Nonetheless, why don't you go ahead and tell me, one, what you got into tonight, how'd you sleep and where'd you go to rest if you get any? Two, what do you think you'd want to do as far as talking to the group? Do you think you'd rather just have a nice group video call or meet up in the morning, group training exercise, go see a movie? I don't know, it's up to y'all. Any case, as I pass it over to any of you, whoever feels comfortable, of course, the scene is yours.
Well, the first things first, Mel needs to get her regs back. And so she, before leaving, returned to Wildfire and make sure it's okay with him that she can go back to his apartment and get her clothes.
He narrows an eyebrow and just says, like, you got a spare key? I'm gonna talk to somebody about this bullshit.
I'm gonna leave something for you on the coffee table.
Hope it doesn't blow up.
Blow up.
He nods, gives you a half smile, a shrug, and steps away. So yeah, you're free to... Sorry, go ahead.
Turn to the others and let them know. Say that I'm planning on leaving. I need to go back to the house and figure out see what state everything is in there. I anticipate that the family is kind of gonna have a breakdown. Do we want to meet up later or just get on the call? Talk about everything? I mean, I guess if you want to, you're welcome to come over.
So I missed some of that. I'm sorry. Like, is there...
Mel said that you guys are... Mel said she's leaving. She's gonna go back to her house to figure out what's going on with her family. and asked if you guys want to meet or be on a call or something to talk about this, or just if you guys want to, you can come over.
Yeah, I think.
You go.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think Fives will nod and say, I assume I probably shouldn't tag along. I think I need to sleep on this before I talk about it with you guys.
Okay.
Seeing that Fives is out, I think Aurelia will look at Cleo for like any guiding direction.
I feel like my therapist would want me to go home and sleep on this rather than acting recklessly. However, if you need someone, Mel, that's willing to step in and be like, what the f*** is happening to your mom? If you don't want to be that bad guy, I'm totally willing to step up.
I'll be okay. Thank you, though.
Text me if you need me then. I'm gonna go scream into a pillow and then see what I can do about everything that's happening through my own device. Okay, bye! And Cleo's just gonna like awkward moonwalk, and you can like see her hands shaking violently, like she is pissed and trying to cover it up with humor, but wants to be nowhere near any of the people that are in this.
Understandable.
Hey, Cleo, do you have angry marked?
Let's see. Probably.
If you don't, you should.
Okay, it's marked.
Perfect. Thank you. So it sounds like we've got Aurelia. Are you? So I guess with that guidance, Aurelia, are you thinking, where are you at right now? Because I think you're the most quote unquote detached from all of this. So
Yeah.
what do you think you're feeling like?
I feel like Aurelia just kind of doesn't give a fuck. She still isn't like too invested into the planet. She's like growing closer to the homies enough that maybe she'll ask them if they ate food in a weird way, but like not enough that like the inner workings of their social structure like plays a point in her life. So seeing that Cleo isn't gonna go and seeing that Fives isn't gonna go, she probably is just gonna be like quiet and then leave.
All right. Sounds like the team is scattering to perhaps reconnect digitally later on in the evening. So then,
Maybe
let's
she'll go
see.
with Fives, because
Yeah.
I feel like if they want her to talk, she's not gonna answer her phone.
More than fine.
So valid.
Perfectly valid. All right. So
You're not gonna always
Sounds
come
like-
hunt you down again.
yeah, true.
You said what?
Said I could always come hunt you down again.
Okay, yeah,
No-
no,
no
okay, she'll go to
stuff like
her
If
She'll go to
if you
that
wanna
stupid
breed-
ass room that they sent her to.
Mm-hmm. So, sounds like everyone's headed off to their own areas of living, as it were, their own dormitories, personally, their own residences, as it were. So we're gonna split our team up for a little bit here, and let's track you all a little individually. It sounds like here's what I want to do. Because it sounds like there's some separation here, and I know obviously we got a pretty important scene coming up with Mel talking with the family and checking in on Athena and that whole big thing. Anybody else feel like there's anything like urgent they want to do? They want to focus the camera on before we focus in on that? Anything they want to do with their individual time that feels worth mentioning or worth focusing on?
Not necessarily before that.
Alrighty,
I'd be happy
Well,
to
let's
go over that.
let's hop right on into that and let's handle it from there. So, our dear Milena, it is a thankfully not too difficult trip once you break free of the crowd and are able to make your way through towards the parts of the city that are more, accessible. as you don't live too far from the center district, you kind of have to move through some of the busier parts of the street to make your way back home. But thankfully, you can cut your way. Your route towards Wildfire's place thankfully takes you away from some of the most busy sections, and with a simple ability to enter and get yourself changed. Do you want to say what you left for him now, or do you want to hold that till later?
I'll say it because I don't know when he's going to see it or when it'll come up.
All right, then. What do you leave?
She leaves a picture of him and Cassie when they're like 12 or 13, and they'd gone away to a summer camp for altered kids in a handmade frame that they decorated, along with a beaded and braided friendship bracelet that has Cassie's name on it.
That's really sweet. Yeah. You're able to place that on the table in the quiet, turn off the light on your way out, and close the door, the camera lingering on that table until the lights are out. And you are able to kind of, we pan wipe until you are arriving home. And you enter. I'm not sure what it is you might have expected when you walk home, but I think absolute quiet might have been maybe a bit surprising. Your house isn't empty. There are people there, certainly. It's just very quiet.
Are people scattered about, or is everyone kind of gathered in the?
There are some people gathered in the dining room, sitting about the table and maybe lowly, hushly muttering and talking about some things. But it seems like there's not a concentration of folks. Everyone's just around.
Does it seem like they're waiting?
No. In fact, I think as you come in and close the door, the about meter wide crater in the wall next to the door is probably the answer you need.
So I guess I will ask, and I will look at the hole in the wall and look around. And is her mom there? Is Athena?
She's not
around?
She's not visibly from the foyer of the house. She's not present. You can't see her there. Her father, Hades, your granddad, is he's amongst the group that's at the table. Just again, similarly dressed as he almost always is in a firm black, almost midnight black robe, and just sipping a mug of coffee with what looks almost like a visible tick on his face, just
Mel will set her bag by the stairs and come into the dining room and kind of give him a look and ask his mom.
He points. Her office. She's unhappy.
The wall. And looks at him and just kind of deadpan and said, I couldn't guess.
He doesn't say it, but gives a quirk of an eyebrow that very clearly says, could have been worse. He looks left and right as if seeing if other people in the room are close, that they're within earshot, and then kind of leans over somewhat. Victory played her for a fool.
Yeah, she did.
Our hands are tied. Most certainly with Cassandra gone now.
Can't back out without causing trouble, and that's what she doesn't want.
Exactly. He cuts you a look that just doesn't really seem readable at first until he speaks again, and just... I'm not certain where you were this evening, but... now isn't a great time to upset her, if you aren't careful. And while he says it in a way that sounds like, oh, hey, don't be out there with some boy or something, in the way like a parent would, given that you know what he knows about you, you know what he's actually talking about.
Yeah. Just to make sure that the speech was broadcasted, right? Like it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure I have my story straight.
You're good.
I will be careful with my words.
He takes a moment to, like, again, cuts you a bit of a sharp glance. Doesn't really say anything, but it's enough that you can kind of tell that there's a bit of scrutiny in that glance. And just, well, good luck. And leans back somewhat. I'm going to get some fresh air. I'll be back. And he stands up, and again, he's sitting not too far from the corner of the room. He walks almost into the shadow at the corner of the room and is gone.
Will give him a little wave by and head towards the stairs. Grab her bag and
Mhm.
grab her bag and head up.
Staircase is clear, and your mother's sort of like private office is basically meant to almost like, its window is meant to overhang and like kind of like look out to the foyer. So from the staircase, it's only just like a kind of like a right from where you are after you kind of spiral up. And you're at the front door to it, and it's not locked because it's almost never locked because your mother doesn't need to lock the door. She just needs to say, I don't want anybody in here, and that's usually respected. It's closed, but again, you know it's not locked.
I'm going to knock. It's a very soft knock.
There is a very, very long pause. Like, feels like several minutes go by before you hear a, come in.
Setting her bag down outside the door. She steps inside and door behind her, closes the door behind her, and looks at Athena.
She is sitting behind her desk, very kind of quietly nestling her chin in one of her hands, looking down at, the paperwork on her desk doesn't really look like she's actually looking at them. But she's, quickly brings her eyes up. Melina, hello.
And
It's awful late in the evening. Where are you coming from?
I was doing a parkour run over by Tyson's place.
Works an eyebrow. Was he with you this evening, or did he come to the ceremony? I didn't see him.
He was at the ceremony in the basement with the other kids, I think. Where they usually hang out.
Well, no reason to sit there stand there staring for a while. Grab a seat. What can I do for you?
Yeah, moves to take a seat in one of the chairs and says, I just came to see if you were okay. I saw the broadcast.
One doesn't fight an invasion against identity-stealing, memory-altering aliens for 4 years, for 2 years, lose several of their loved ones, and not gain a bit of a dislike for liars. It was an efficient gambit she played. The public was needed, obviously. If she simply said this in front of our family, I could have been very directly against it. Saving the announcement for the public meant that I couldn't do anything. Used my own name to hamstring me.
There was no hint, anything, that she was going to do something like this.
Of course there were hints. Katrina Victory isn't the woman to do things without contingencies. There's always more to everything she does. So of course there were hints. I simply thought I had her outplayed this time. I was wrong.
I'm sorry.
She actually gives you a bit of a confused look for a moment. Like she wasn't expecting you to say that. Even thing to be sorry for. The mistake was mine. And I will not be ashamed to admit there is merits in Victory's position. Altered are becoming more irrationally uncontrollable in ways we cannot properly predict. In my day, you might have a rogue arson here or there, or perhaps a small earthquake by someone unable to control their powers. Now, imagine if someone like Grayson didn't have someone like you looking after him when we found him. Imagine if an altered like that lost control and no one could bring him back down.
Clarification. She just stated that.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I totally fucked that up. That's my bad. I'm gonna take that whole thing back and redo that because I had that written for a later thing. I fucked that up. That's on me. Ignore that entire message. That whole sentence didn't happen.
We could retcon without you calling yourself an idiot.
You're right, and I'll do that. I'm gonna retcon that very briefly. Pardon me for that mistake.
And he's not an idiot.
And I'm not an idiot.
Thank you.
What she actually says is, Altered are becoming more and more powerful every day. Imagine if for a moment, Nova couldn't respond quickly to that incident at the docks. That kid could have become irrationally more powerful than he already was. Could have been calamitous.
I guess so.
And that's only speaking of unknown entities. Even amongst our young heroes, there is a need for more in some cases. Tyson is powerful, certainly, but he's showboaty, flashy, and emotional. There are other young heroes. You've seen that Banshee character, yes? Her powers seem extremely useful. And yet, there is a clear lack of control in the way she operates. And with a lack of control comes a lack of focus. There's the other young Nova agent I've seen them operating with, the draconic one whose name escapes me at the moment. Incredible physical force, and unparalleled resilience, and yet a lack of initiative. They aren't a dragon, and they're more of a dog. Then there's the unknown, the enigma, operating as if so far above the world around her, unaware of how much that world is looking to use her. The world is much bigger than young heroes understand, and I fear none of them are ready for it. This is an attempted label shift, by the way. I think she wants to shift your danger down and shift your mundane up.
What is it to resist?
Then that is a move. Let me go ahead and make sure I got the thing right. So, if you would like to, excuse me, revoke someone's influence, you need to roll. So you need to roll 2d6. On a hit, you hold to yourself and tune them out, and then you get to choose 2 from the list. On a 7 and 9, choose 1, and then we can. And then if you miss, we go from there.
I rolled a 3.
It is your mom, after all.
Yeah.
On a miss, their words hit hard. Mark a condition, and the GM will adjust your label. So go ahead and shift that mundane up and that danger down. And I'm gonna. Why don't you tell me what condition's gonna mark? What feels appropriate? How is this really getting to Mel right now? I love this game's mechanics.
I think guilty.
Guilty tracks. Absolutely. Please go ahead and mark guilty. Do you say anything in response to the way she's basically denigrating your friends?
No, which is probably why it also fits into guilty. But she's also making a big note in the fact that she hasn't said anything about Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
So
She hasn't.
she's making a note of that.
Mm-hmm. Which I think, and you can let me know if this sounds right, but I think what that, especially the reason why this marks that mundane up for you, is that I think in your mind, Mel, that means Hero You is beneath her notice. She just hasn't even taken notice of Hero You at all. That's not appropriate?
Yeah.
All right. Then I think there's a momentary pause after she kind of says her piece about young heroes and says, but there is potential in them. Immense potential. Victory sees it, and she's afraid of it. She takes a long, hard sigh, just... Come here. And it's said very softly.
He gets up and walks over to her mom.
And it's not because your mom knows you're not really one for like physical touch, so it's not like a embrace or anything like that, but it's just a gentle like brushing of hair from your face from both sides for a moment. My precious, precious Melina. This world is in the hands of people around your age. And you, whether you know it or not, are still one of them. I'm so afraid of how big this world is. So afraid it'll hurt you.
She's saying I am, or she's saying she is?
She is.
Oh. I'm able to protect myself, Mom.
She nods. You're my daughter. Of course you can. It was never about not believing in you. I taught your sister to be better than I ever was. And I lost her for it. So I need you to promise me that you will be safe and responsible, and that I will always know where you are.
I promise.
I love you.
Me too.
I've had a really long night, and there's a lot of things on my brain. I'm sorry. Was there something else you needed? Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm trying to remember if I had something else.
You got it. Take your time.
What are we gonna do about Katrina?
For now, nothing. We publicly show our support. We do our best to assist young agents in their new initiatives as it happens. There is still at least a month or two before the full registry is rolled out and cells are established. The best thing we can do for now is to simply keep our ears open, and our minds more so. A lot of things will change soon. She very, very gently kisses the top of your forehead. Let's both get some rest, yes? And if there's nothing else you have left in that scene,
outside of maybe going back out into the hallway, and if Grandpa Hades is down there, just giving him a thumbs up.
he turns, gives you a bit of a surprised look, and a very respectful like nod. Like, all right then.
And kind of waiting to make sure I still have his attention. Mouthing, "Can we talk later?"
He gives a second nod.
Not and take her bag and go to her room.
Yeah. Well, in that case, as the camera follows your back until the door closes, I imagine that then puts us off to checking in with our gang. Yeah? So my question, gang, is obviously we're in a relative parallel to the modern timeline. So are we having this group chat completely via text? Is there a video call happening? Are we all
Gonna be
logging
in a
into this thing
signal
online?
chat, because if you can put more plans in there, we can definitely do whatever we're
We'll accept it. All right. I was gonna say we'll call it something else like Beacon or something, but that's a different. That's a game. That'll feel weird. So
game in a game.
I
so
don't know why virtue is a
You know what?
for me.
I like it. I'll take it. I accept it. I like that. So how's tonight's call going? Fives, I assume you went and tracked down Aurelia to make sure that she was present for the call rather than having to hope she would answer.
Yeah, so I'll drag her along.
So we'll assume you two are present at her place. Cleo, I assume you're home having screamed into a pillow for a bit.
Yes. And I'd probably cry to my mom and dad and tell them about it because they weren't watching TV.
Fair and valid. Well, with some time to yourselves to hopefully reflect and recuperate on where you are, you find yourselves gathered once again in the presence of friends, at least virtually speaking. So, I'll leave it over to you guys. What are you talking about right now, and how's the convo moving to anything more important? Or, I don't know, maybe you just talk about what's happening in the news? I don't know. You got a hot date coming up? I don't know your personal lives. I'm just asking.
Now's not the time for dates. I send to the chat the TikTok of hostile government takeover to start the chat.
Yeah, off to a great start, huh?
I think you can see that. Does this one have read receipts on or whatever?
It has whatever you want it to have on.
Okay, so I want to say that has like read receipts on, and you can tell how Aurelia didn't open it.
That's fucked up.
But it says
Fine, because-
deliver.
Fine, because Fives opened it, and Aurelia's in the room.
Yeah,
That works.
I kind of want to do like something in person and be like, "What is this?"
What do you mean? What is this? It's a text message from Cleo.
Why are you showing me this?
Because she also sent it to you?
Fine.
Well, friends, you're otherwise gathered. If somebody wants to, I don't know, start a video call or otherwise send some messages or, I don't know, shit post some memes, this is the group chat to do it. It's you guys just singing. I'm just here in the background. Don't mind me.
Now we'll ask if they want a video call.
I think Fives will quickly type back, yes, so I don't have to keep reading every freaking message to Aurelia.
I'll smash that call button as my confirmation of yes, please.
Ah, Cleo's that friend in the group. You're like, y'all wanna talk later? Y'all wanna talk later? One person just calls the fucking group and you're like, yeah, bruh!
What in the hell?
See, Mel answers the call and she's just in a like one of those drape hanging suits.
Yeah.
Fairy painting suits, and she's got Dew, her snake, wrapped around her. Hi guys.
Wait,
Oh,
I
you
just
had
want
a
to say,
snake?
A snake? Yeah, this is Dew.
I think in one sense of humanity that you will see from Aurelia should be like, I like the snake.
Really leans over to the camera. I like this. Leans back out of the camera.
Like literally, she's like, I feel like you can't even see her really on the video until like Fives is like pointing the shit at her. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I like that. It reminds me of when I like Zoom call with my family to catch up with them, and then like they force my younger brother to come join, and he like pops in the corner, shows me like a Lego thing that he built, and then leaves.
Did it.
That's me, but with this me saying I like the snake.
Yeah, says you can come visit and see her if you want. Never.
Thank you.
Question. Everyone, we all saw and heard the same thing, right?
Yeah.
How are you guys processing it right now?
I should not be the first to speak.
Okay, well, I'm losing my mind. What? At what point in all of history has a registry for anything but wedding gifts been a good idea?
That's a fair point.
I think Aurelia focusing on shit that doesn't matter at all. She's gonna say, why do you register your gifts?
So that way people don't buy you shit you don't want or need.
She nods.
That
and
you
then
don't
she
get
gets out.
multiple of the same thing.
She just nods and then she gets out of the camera again.
I just like slot back out of the camera.
Like floats off. T-posed.
I got what I came here for.
At least you know she's listening. I feel like that's more than you know sometimes.
I think that's pretty important. It's a sign of growth, really, you know?
So are we like... Huh? Why didn't your mom say... Oh, like her face said it, but her mouth didn't?
Because she thinks that disagreeing will cause a lot more like tension and fighting, and she doesn't want to cause that.
What if that tension and fighting saved me?
Can you repeat what you said? It cut out at the end.
But what if that tension and fighting, protected people and saved them from unchecked tyranny?
But what if it caused a lot of people to get hurt from unchecked powers? That's their logic, not mine.
Everything is gross and
you say that again, please?
Everything is gross and bad?
Okay. Thank you.
Or at least that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
I mean, it does make sense. I can see why, especially after what happened to Gas, that your mom wouldn't really be in a position to say no. Especially on a stage that big.
That's exactly why Katrina did it. If it was just in front of the family, she could say no, but in public,
Is your mom doing anything to hold her accountable to screwing her over?
I think she's going to try. I don't know what she's going to do, but I think she's going to try. But she's not going to pick a fight with her. And I don't think she's going to rally anybody else to pick the fight for her.
I have two questions if you don't mind me interceding real quick for a brief bit, and they're just personal ones that are kind of more like leaning into brains for a brief moment. Or what might represent brains, I guess, depending on who I'm talking to. First up, Fives. Do you think Victory is wrong?
I think she's wrong for not telling Athena the truth of what the announcement was going to be. I don't think Fives thinks that the announcement itself or the, like, oversight is wrong necessarily, though.
Noted. Second question, then. Aurelia, you literally exist by a principle of non-intervention. The idea of just, observation and letting people do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've been around long enough to recognize that Nova's, modus operandi is pretty much the exact opposite of that. It's intervene, intercede, and control the narrative, and control what's happening, no matter what you have to do it. How does that strike you?
Aurelia is still in the idea of, like, hands-off, lack of intervention aspect of it. She looks at Nova's actions as just another natural part of the world. As long as the people of the world are the ones who are intervening and making these decisions, it's not something that involves her or her people. So, yeah, that's kind of how it is, unfortunately. Like, if it was...
Can't wait to bring something up in character.
This is great. I think this is... I think that's fun to highlight that, like, they're, and again, it's just me mentioning it for the sake of, like, keep an eye on the narrative here. It feels like we have a weird pseudo split where we have two members of the party who are pretty firmly like, this is a bad idea, absolutely not. And then two people who are more either like, I could go either way, or just, it's not my business. Which I think is a very fun dichotomy to have the party in right now. I just think that's a really interesting disposition you've found yourselves in, and I can't wait to highlight that some more. That's all. Carry on.
Lost track of where we were.
Sorry, I interrupted. I'm pretty sure we last left off. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just trying to remember. Go ahead. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, we had just you were asking if you thought that your mom was going to do anything about Victory's plan, and the answer being like, you think so, but she hasn't said anything yet, or no, it doesn't seem obvious yet.
She might. But I don't know. For now, she said we just go with it.
It makes sense.
Can I throw two other things at y'all?
Yes.
One, just as a reminder, that there are plenty of other things to figure out aside from. I know, obviously, tonight is some big fucking news, obviously. But you know, there's still other trails you guys are trailing, so quote unquote. The Cypress League, for one, has still been very quiet, obviously, and there's other things you guys have been looking into in regards to other things. Which brings me to my second point. No, you get a push notification for an email you got just now.
I do.
Yes.
Oop.
It's from your professor. Professor Marcus Nuxel of your Altered Studies course.
Oop.
It just
Oh,
says...
Marcos, the D's nutsels.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Courtney.
I like
you.
that.
That was a stretch.
I needed
Two more.
it.
You deserved it, frankly.
The second you
deserve
said nutzel, I was like, all right, now process.
All right. And you know what? And I'm going to give that one to you. To the point, though, the email, the subject line just says something cool I found. And it's basically a reply to the other email I sent you earlier, just being like, hey, making sure you're okay. And it's just, hi, Mel. Sorry to email you so late, so I hope you see this in the morning. I remember we had a talk not too long ago about ultra-potentialism and you looking into some things like that. I admitted I browsed some forums about various theories, and I caught this website making the rounds. It seems pretty interesting, so I thought I might hand it your way. Well-cited sources, surprisingly, though it's not clear who the author is. And there's, of course, a link attached.
It's a virus. Don't open it. I'm sorry.
PSA, Ollie's right. Practice good internet safety etiquette.
You don't know that link? Don't click it. You don't know that link?
Having said that,
trust
this
the
is a fictional
professor.
world. Fuck it.
I trust my professor. Click.
The website you get, and I assume this is like while your friends are still in the call babbling about other things
Yeah.
related to tonight, is basically a purview on theories around altered potentialism. It's a collection site, a collection of several different like research documents and like compiled research over the years around things. And it ultimately ends in there's a page separate from the main sort of like list of repositories, which contains looks to be maybe either like a think piece or a personal essay or a something. The title, however, is very clear, and it's a long fucking essay, so you probably don't have time to read it all in the middle of the call unless you want to. But the title is, quite simply, The Singular Point Theorem.
We'll have to give that a read.
That's all.
We have that now. Back to the conversation.
So yeah, you zone back in to your friends chattering more about tonight and what happened, or maybe they've told you something, talking about something else. Maybe you come back in on like someone making the most raunchy comment you've ever heard, and you're like, "Well, I'm sorry, I zoned out. What the fuck are you talking about now?"
I think Aurelia will move back into the video camera after it went quiet for a second, and then she's gonna be like, "What of the child?"
Grayson he's okay. But clear he's not getting any sense of normalcy. It's just scans and tests.
Do you think there's anything I could do to help him out while he's there?
I mean, if you're able to get down there and befriend him and do things with him. I don't know if Katrina's going to let you, though. She barely let me. I got 5 minutes with him. I'm going to try to get back, and I've got some ideas on things that I can do to help him.
Well, maybe I can pull some strings.
If he has a hard time with you, just let him know that you're friends with me. And that I trust you.
Do.
When I see him, I'll let him know.
Also, why are they keeping a kid in a jail cell? Like, I know you guys had that big fight when I wasn't there and stuff like that, but like, is he actually getting access to doctors, or are they just studying?
I think Aurelia's gonna say very, like, almost bluntly, and lack of, like, social decorum, just like, the child atomized Cassandra.
Right, and is he getting help?
They're
Or is he just being, like, poked and prodded and studied? And
They're trying to assess his power so that he can control it.
so that he can control it, or so they can control it?
I mean, either is better than the current situation.
What I've told.
But also, it's a kid.
I know.
I mean, if kids commit crime, they still go to juvenile detention. He did kill a person.
When his powers went out of control. My powers have gone out of control and I've almost killed people. Should I be locked up too?
If you killed someone. But if you didn't kill
Did he
someone...
intentionally kill? Or...
No, but isn't that what they call manslaughter? It's like, it's not murder, but... I don't know. I'm no law student.
I just don't know that being locked up in a cell is the best way to help anyone garner control over their powers. Especially if that cell is stripped down, vacant of any media, any opportunities for growth, any education, any therapy, anything that isn't just professionals coming in and out.
I believe I have to agree in this situation. Previously, when I asked for Nova to remove him, I thought it would be in his best interest. But if this environment is not cultivating for the betterment, I can see why there are grievances against them.
It could be cultivating, but they are not open with it. They're not honest about it. They're keeping it locked under how many layers of brick and mortar and pipes and concrete and
27 to be exact.
I like that number.
According to what I found in my documents, it's 20. He's located 27 floors beneath the earth. I don't even like being 27 floors above the earth. It kind of makes me feel like my head's gonna pop. And they're doing that to a kid, locking him down there. No sun, no socialization outside of 5 minutes. One time with a compassionate person.
I
That's why I'm hoping to intervene.
I'm going
also
back.
am of the understanding that if you have great power, the least involved in things, the better.
I'm just nervous that there's going to be one thing that each of us can do that Nova decides is too much, and all of a sudden we're locked 27 floors beneath the ground because there's no due process, there's no jurisdiction, 27 floors beneath the earth. It feels like visibility down there, and that's, for all we know, we could be having this FaceTime and he could already be dead. There's no way for us to check in. There's no way for us to know.
Mel comes kind of visibly distressed.
Like, I understand that we all need to be held accountable for our powers and what we do, but that accountability has to go both ways.
I think you actually see like Aurelia break her normal like stone face and actually like contemplate what you're saying. But she's not gonna say anything about it. You're just gonna see her thinking about that shit.
Getting into like a little leftist maggot inside of your body. Eat you up from the inside.
You got her thinking. That's more than she does a lot of times.
Friends, I feel like there's a unique moment of like push through happening here. So I'm gonna open this up to the floor for a moment. I think any of you who would like to could use this moment to make a Pierce the Mask roll against somebody else. If you think you want to really try to get through to that person, really see what they're like underneath, and really get a sense of what you need to push them over the edge. As a reminder for those at home and also for my friends, Pierce the Mask is when you pierce someone's mask to see the person beneath, you roll plus mundane. On a 10 plus, ask 3 questions. On a 7 and 9, ask 1. The question list is as follows. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How can I get your character to blank? How can I gain influence over you? So, you know, if someone's thinking like, I want to figure out how to get you to see my way, maybe this isn't a bad way to go about that. Up to you. I'm just instigating. Don't mind me. I have suggestions if you want to hear them, by the way.
I would.
Cool. Cleo, 5, roll it.
Which way?
Cleo, I'd like you to try to roll a Pierce 5's mask right now.
Okay, and I get a bonus because I have influence over them?
Oh yeah, then you get a +1 forward against it. So it's going to be a +1 to your roll plus mundane.
Roll plus mundane? Why would you do something like this to me?
I don't make the rules. I just follow them, except when I break them.
Oh, and you
+1.
Did you just make Cleo angry too?
I did.
Okay, so there was a +1, so now it's just a -1, so it's a -2. I roll. Nice.
What you got?
3.
Oof. Seems like 5s is very bullheaded in their personal opinions right now.
You know what? I can mark some potential.
You sure can. Mark some potential.
God damn.
Anybody else feel like piercing the mask right now?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. Then no. That's fine. No was a fine answer. No, 5s? Either one?
I'm gonna do it anymore as long as I'm pissed off.
I don't know. Cause like.
Oh wait, I think I might want to.
Oh.
This is out of curiosity and not like because Aurelia cares. She's just like curious and she wants to know more, but not like she's invested. But
Let's see it. Who are you trying to pierce the mask against?
Not invested, but she's invested.
yeah, Yeah, exactly. Cleo.
Please roll plus mundane.
My -2. Oh shit! I got a full hit. Let's get it.
Oh shit. So yeah, with
How dare you.
a 10 plus, you can ask 3 questions from that list. The list again
Can I
is.
ask my own question? I'm sorry to
Fucking, why
interrupt.
not? Yeah, sure, go for it. Have fun.
Okay, so I think what Aurelia really wants to know is whether or not Cleo is invested in Grayson because Cleo feels like Grayson is a reflection of childhood her. Like,
Oh yeah.
bluntly,
Oh yeah.
blatantly.
She doesn't even think it's like a reflection of childhood her. This is her now. Like,
Oh, shit.
he's a reflection of me now. He's someone who loses control of his power. He's someone who's caused irreparable harm. Stuff that she's encountered throughout her life with trying to learn how to not blow people's brains out just by talking in their mind. And sometimes that's like not something she's even aware of. Like, when she was growing up, she wasn't even aware that she was doing it until people would start begging her to stop.
Okay.
And there's like that deep sense of like, that could be me tomorrow. Like, and there's also just like the deep distrust of no.
Yeah, I like that.
That
Thank
they
you.
only need a reason now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
I like
before they needed probable cause.
Cool, cool. I like that so much. Thank you for answering that. Could I ask one in, like, can I ask another question, but like in character?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think Aurelia is gonna say, if you disagree with how Grayson is treated, how would you suggest treating somebody who has the potential to kill so many?
Every single one of us on this call has the potential. I would
Wait,
still
can I
want to be
reword
treated.
that? Can I retcon that? I'm gonna reword that real quick. Sorry.
You're fine.
How do you suggest treating somebody who is uncontrollable?
I think with decency and empathy. I think we've all had points in our life where we've been at least somewhat out of control. Some people punch holes in walls. Some people scream mercilessly into pillows. Control is kind of made up. It's just you gotta give someone love and respect, because if you nurture someone, you give them the chance to grow and learn and become better and make the choice to do it. Sure, if they're going off like a nuclear bomb every, 10 days, wiping out entire cities, maybe we put them on an isolated island by them. And we, go out and visit when he's not in nuclear bomb mode and be a friend in that kind of way. I don't know. I read a comic book, you know me, one time, the Hulk had to go away for a while because he was super angry and he wanted to stay in Hulk form and couldn't do that when he was not strong enough to deal with his emotions. So, he went away, got his own little island, was able to learn, develop, spend time meditating outside of a place of anxiety and distrust, hurt. But it has to come from their initiative, too.
Okay. I think after hearing what Cleo says, Aurelia doesn't really give a reaction, but she suddenly leaves.
Aurelia? You going pee? She doesn't have to pee. Never mind. Shit.
She doesn't.
Kyle, do you want to go after her?
Is she walking out of the room?
Yeah, she's leaving the room.
Okay, yeah, Fiz will get up and follow then.
Are you
Wait, what
following with
happened?
are you following with the video?
Yeah.
Time
Wait,
to put in the
come back,
headphones
we're
before we
talking.
leave the room.
Oh my god, Rasha. You'll
Or is
see,
that too
like,
much? Aurelia,
you'll
come
see-
back!
Aurelia, like, go towards the point of contact that she has for Katrina Victory. So, like, front desk of Katrina Victory, whoever's there.
Interesting. So you're gonna have to leave the dormitory and head over to Nova HQ to do that.
Yeah, are we close though?
You're not far at all. No, I don't know. You're very close. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
I think if that's the goal, though, let me do this. Let me do this. Fives. Once you get a sense of what direction Aurelia is heading.
yeah, I know where we're
two things.
going.
One, where she's going. Two, you also know this is going to be a task that's so much more easily done in the morning.
Can I
It is
try to
still the
catch
middle
up
of the
with
night, by the
Aurelia?
way.
Aurelia doesn't care about time.
You can catch up. I mean, it's up to Aurelia. Are you like going
How
max
fast are
speed to
you?
get there? Do you think Fives is going to try to? Do you think Fives
feel
can
like-
catch you? Otherwise, I'll make you roll for it.
Okay, so Aurelia is. If y'all ever seen Hunter, like, you know, the entrance fucking test or whatever, the Hunter test, where they're like, oh, don't you realize this is a test? Because you just have one motherfucker who's like walking, and everybody's like, oh shit, he's walking, but it turns out he's walking like so fucking fast that people are like, that's how fast she's walking. Like, she's walking, it looks casual as fuck to everybody else, but she's also moving really fast, but she's not running.
All right then. I'm gonna say it takes a while though. You're both outside, maybe halfway between your dormitory and Nova HQ's front opening, when you finally manage to catch up.
Okay. Fives will reach out and try to tap Aurelia's shoulder. Hey! Where are you going?
To Katrina.
Can we wait till tomorrow?
Why?
Well, we were in the middle of having a conversation. She's probably asleep or something.
Let's make sure.
Well, if you make sure, then she's not gonna be fucking asleep and she's gonna be pissed.
In the background, Cleo is setting up her phone on like a little selfie stand, and everyone through the call just hears the sound of like bubbling water as she just rips a massive vomit because the stress of this idea. Like, Cleo's talking big talk right now, but she's also scared to death of facing off against Katrina. That's an adult. That's scary. And so the fact that it's happening, she's like, oh shit, I get to watch this on live.
No! No! I'm not watching this on live! This is not
It's
happening!
not on live, but it's on live.
No! 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 No!
Just seeing the panic of number 5's face as you're
No! No!
running like this.
No! Look, okay.
Wait, also,
You do this. This jeopardizes my whole plan to try to get in and visit Grayson. Let's not. Let's pause.
I'm not one to act, but I feel as if in this situation, Cleo brings up valid points. I feel like their complacency with me is enough to have such with a child who has the potential to kill many people. It is worth considering a bit of intervention.
Intervention can't wait for like 5 hours? You've waited the whole time you've been here to do anything.
Whoa.
Damn.
Pierce that mask. Do it.
Yeah,
Pierce the fucking
yeah.
mask.
Do that. I think you should do that actually.
That was really good, but also, oh no. The bong
love
rip
that
takes a
song.
little
This
bit
entire
longer
show.
after hearing that.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll
What do
plus
I roll
mundane
for
for
that?
me, Senior Fives.
To pierce the mask, yes.
Plus mundane, yes. To pierce L mask.
Is it 2d6?
Just yes, 2d6 plus mundane.
So -3 overall.
Uh-oh.
Because I have -1, and then I also have -2 to pierce the mask because I'm angry. And I am
So you-
angry.
But you also have
That's a 2.
+1 because you have influence over me.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's only a
then
-2.
a 3. I didn't roll too hot.
Well,
There's a lot of 3s tonight.
Yeah, it's a lot of-
tragic.
mark potential.
Oh,
Well, Aurelia, any response to this, like, jab from Fives?
Hmm. She
I
said
don't
something
imagine it's
crazy.
going to hurt her feelings, but
Yeah, so like Aurelia doesn't necessarily care about like what she said in terms of like hurting her feelings, but I think if she wanted like rationality behind why she's acting the way she does, I think it would just be like, I think there was logic in what Cleo said.
it's also logic in not jeopardizing our opportunity to actually leverage whatever leeway you think you have.
Is my presence not enough?
I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you get 1 shot.
Why do I only have 1?
If it goes bad,
If it goes bad, you end up in a box right next to him. Sorry.
it's not impossible.
I'm in the spot of clarity before the crash.
It's not impossible.
If
The 5s will attempt to steer you the other way. But
Wait, after Cleo says that, and 5 is like, it's not impossible. I think Aurelia's just gonna like stare at her fully now, like turn around and stare at her fully, and just say like, if I am confined for speaking out, why do you value this institution so much?
Smashing like in chat. Applause emojis.
We're just petting too.
Mel's just like, I don't even know what's happening right now, guys. Can we stop fighting?
like,
I was just like, I need my emotional
let
support
me think,
snake.
Let me think.
You have an emotional support snake. I have an emotional support bomb.
Mood?
I might
What?
not agree with how Victory does things, but I know that Nova can do good.
Wow.
I'm proof of that.
Damn, if Aurelia was on her savage shit, she would have just been like, you ain't the best example.
Ouch.
Is Aurelia on her savage shit?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Oh fuck, damn.
I mean,
Welcome to
I was
roleplay.
just a little bit of a bitch, so if you want to be a bitch back, you're allowed to.
I
Mom's
don't
on her
know.
savage shit.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't
She would say it.
I don't know if you're the best example of the good that Nova can do.
Mel's gonna chime in and say that was uncalled for.
Agreed. Party
I
above
think-
table was like, ooh, savage. That was so good.
Yeah.
But me below table, I'm like, or me at table, I'm like, oh no, so sad and hard to hear.
I think Fives is like, with that they're just kind of like, okay, fuck it. If you want to do this, you fucking do it. Like, you want to go shoot yourself in the foot, then I can't fucking stop you.
Why would this be shooting myself in the foot, Fives?
Why would you wake up the most powerful woman in Jump City at fucking 3 a.m.?
Is it 3 a.m. right now?
It's
I don't
3
fucking
a.m.
know what time it
Y'all,
is.
y'all, it's still, it's like 3 in the morning.
Really
Yeah.
late at night.
We had to wait for Mel to talk with the family. Well,
Yeah. It's,
Our own
and y'all left the
text.
party at night. So, like, yeah, it's like 2, 3 in the morning right now.
Okay. I think after remembering that like people need sleep and
We're not all
God.
fucking energy balls.
Actually.
I mean, if you said that in character, she'd probably be like, I see, and that's why there are issues here.
Yes, that's why I'm saying let's do this in like 5 hours.
Do you have the intention to complete the action? Or is it just false talk?
You're the one doing the action. I'm saying you can do the action in 5 hours.
Would you not join me?
If you want. I just don't want you to do it right now.
I think Aurelia, without saying anything, she'll turn back to the dormitory.
Thank you. God.
Well,
She doesn't look at her phone. She doesn't know what fucking time it is.
well, friends.
You don't have a
Is
fucking
anything-
sun where you come from, God.
It's just perfect. It's always perfect.
Anything more left in this scene here?
Are they still on the video call?
Yeah, nobody hung up.
Hello. Yeah, let's talk about the thing you've been researching later.
I think we should all go to bed, maybe, right?
Of you.
We could talk about things, but also that was a lot of meanness all at once.
Yeah, that's why I said we can talk about it later.
Yeah, that's fine. I think she starts to like tear up a little bit because she doesn't know why her friends are fighting. She's just really high right now. And also it's really stressful.
We're fighting your
Oh, I instigated this. Courtney, know that. But now Cleo's like, they're like the people who live closest to each other.
Absolutely.
Probably the closest of all of us, but not closest. And then, like, in her brain, she's spiraling just a little bit more than she
Absolutely.
was before that.
The cognitive dissonance between
My bad.
in your actions and you right now is why.
It's just like, oh my god.
It's my fault.
I didn't mean to make anybody fight. I just wanted to say to her.
I should have muted the call before chasing after her earlier. That's my bad. I'll take the blame.
So, my loves, if it sounds appropriate, let's say you all make some plans to meet up tomorrow to have a more in-person conversation. You know, when tempers are less high. Sound fair?
Oh, I was gonna say when fists can be thrown, but
Oh, that too.
You
Like,
trying to fight? You trying to fight?
I'm kidding.
You trying to fight?
I'm kidding. I'm just, I'm playing into the angry condition.
this game has PvP mechanics. Anyway, any case, that said,
Teenage angst.
as our sirens settle away from their teenage angst, let's part the scene for a brief moment and check in on something else. Elsewhere, in New Jump City, clearly not in her office, a man continues to speak while facing a screen that is turning. Fact: since the first occurrence of alteration, occasions of it have not only been more frequent, but more dramatic. The screen flips. Fact: the population of Altered across the world is approximately 1.7 billion at highest estimates. Roughly a seventh of the world's population, and counting. Fact: for some strange reason, many of the most powerful Altered seem to be appearing right here in New Jump City. As if the future itself bends around this very city. Following along so far? Get to it, Rivers, please. Certainly. Click. The singular point theorem suggests, quite simply, that if alteration is occurring at an increased level, in younger individuals, and with more dramatic results, then how long until an Altered is born at a young age with a power unimaginable, uncontrollable? How long until you find an Altered equivalent to a god. Katrina nods and says, "It's been a long-running theory, and one that's guided most of your work." Indeed. After all, if one can create an altered on a scale hitherto unseen, why not try to make 12? The Jade Cycle experiment. The same one that got you ousted from Nova. The same one indeed. How are 2 and 5s these days? Not your business. Yet, of course. Let's remain focused. Certainly. I hear you've encountered some very interesting individuals lately. The extra-dimensional being operating beyond space and time, present in our realm, and the child who, if left uncontrolled, could atomize everything in a 30-kilometer square radius. Yes. Both incredibly powerful beings. And you don't know what to do about them. In truth, either one of them could be the singular point. Indeed. The question becomes which. Oh, Katrina, you are so short-sighted, darling. Elaborate. Why would I? There's no need. The girl, or the child, could be a singular point. But they aren't the only powerful altered around. You certainly don't have eyes everywhere. Not detailed ones, at least. If there's one singular point, how could there not be many? Her face drops just a twitch. What are you suggesting? Well, there are calculations, algorithms, checks, tests that can be run, things that can be done to monitor them. I can assist you in keeping track of this. I am already aware of your plans within Jump City, and having a registry of Altered within the city is certainly a great way to start. Clever use of the way you played Athena, by the way. However, New Jump City doesn't have all the world's altered. I would need a accurate, detailed list of accounting that might detail every altered across the entirety of the world's breadth. You have that, of course, right? Out of the question. Of course, of course. I had to try. Well, you go on ahead then, and I'm certain that I'll be able to find some space in my old lab. I'll make accommodations. This is kept strictly cordial for now, and you are kept under permanent surveillance. Armed. But of course, good to see you again, Katrina. She steps back. Someone touches her shoulder. There is a whip of green, and they're gone. Well, worth a try. A figure clicks out of the shadows on clopped heels. Worth a try indeed, Doctor, holding a small data chip in their hand. Let's make a deal. And with that, we'll be right back. And we rejoin our heroes amidst the streets of a broad daylight in New Jump City, not too far from the Central District, at a quaint little coffee shop one of you happened to have found while out on patrol one evening. It not only regularly serves Altered, meaning you all could show up in costume if you wanted to, assuming you don't need to right now, obviously, but it's also surprisingly not a very busy spot, despite being in the middle of New Jump City and also serving Altered. It also means they're open way earlier than any of you need them to, so when you all show up, it's pretty solidly not too busy. Morning rush is already passed, and you're able to grab a spot. So we find our heroes joined around a table, sharing a small snack and prepping for, well, whatever the fuck they're about to get themselves into. So tell me, heroes, which of you found this little coffee spot here? And, what are you chatting about over breakfast? The scene, darlings, is yours.
Now,
First come, first served.
Yeah. Oh wait. I think Aurelia's just gonna be like, I've waited long enough. Why are we partaking in sustenance?
We have to live.
Socialization. Sustenance socialization.
Well, I needed the lemon blueberry egg to start my day.
She sighs. Recently learning that she could sigh.
Is that how that works? Got it.
Fives will like get a hot chocolate and then sit down with the group.
Mm-hmm.
Hataki, I love Hataki.
Yeah.
Mel very rarely drinks coffee, but this time she does because she spent the rest of the night reading the Singular Point essay.
Well,
She didn't sleep a lot.
Oh no!
oh, she got a rabbit hole. Whoops.
Does she
Been there.
look tired?
Maybe a little bit, but not like crazy tired. She's not like falling asleep in her seat.
Okay. I think maybe Aurelia will say something like, why does it look as if you have not been sleeping? Wait. There's a word for this. Why does it look like you did not partake in a suitable amount of sleep?
I guess that would be because I technically didn't.
What is the technicality for not sleeping?
Not sleeping.
So you did not sleep.
No.
That's why we're gonna coffee?
Yes.
Why did you not? Isn't this something that's necessary for daily function?
Really anxious last night, and I ended up reading an essay that my professor sent me. It's an essay called the Singular Point. It's about how there continues to be more and more altereds. Eventually, there's going to be an altered born or created that is essentially a godlike figure.
Oh,
One completely unimaginable.
and what does it like propose? Like, then we're gonna worship that person, or what? Or just that they'll exist?
Just that they'll exist.
At least it's not some weird religious mumbo jumbo.
I hope I'm able to get back to my dimension before this godlike entity makes itself known.
Would that be funny if it was you? And she's gonna keep shoveling cake into her mouth.
While that would seem plausible based on where I'm from, I have doubts because I do not belong here.
But by every definition, you fall into the category of what an altered is for us. you might not be originally from here, but you are still a resident of here. And you have powers.
Before you say, and you have powers, she's just gonna interrupt you for a second. And like, you're like, oh, you're a resident up here. And she's gonna say, unfortunately. And then you can finish. I'm sorry. I just need to get that out.
Unfortunately. And you have powers, so you fit the criteria. Whether you like it or not.
If I am from a dimension where some are capable of seeing every possibility, it seems a bit odd that they would not anticipate this happening.
Well, then sounds like maybe people aren't so omniscient after all. So maybe you're not the god.
Like how it's like double-sided there. It's like you're insulting your home world, but you're also like siding with her at the same time. Damn. Damn!
Was that supportive or was that a diss? I don't know.
A supportive diss. Like, whose side are you on, bitch? No, I'm kidding. Aurelia would not say that. I think it is odd to doubt where I'm from. But I do have the agreement that I don't feel as if I'm godlike in that sense.
It's healthy. Believing in things with absolute certainty in a universe like ours doesn't make sense.
That's very fair.
I think what I was taught from an early age is that all these universes have their own path. I hate to think that I have deviated from that. My presence has made this universe deviate from this path so harshly that it could even be thought that my presence is almost welcomed.
Well, perhaps you ending up here was supposed to be part of the path. I don't know.
I find that highly unlikely.
Well, you being here at all is highly unlikely, isn't it? But you are.
I guess I do have to agree with you at that point.
You got.
Got me!
Anyway, it's just a theory. My professor and I were talking about how power generation for altereds, like how altereds get their powers.
Are you simply not brought into this world with the powers that you have innately?
People are born with them. That's about as innate as it gets.
People are born with them. Some people have things happen to them. And I guess, like, I was born with my powers, but I wouldn't say it was innate. It was constructed. Just curious.
I think that is like wild to her in some sense. Not like wild, but it's like somebody intervened on the path that your whole life would have taken. But then she also realized that she has not been meddling in the affairs because a lot of people have been intervening and shit. She's like, okay, yeah, mortal problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, that intervening in a life is kind of why he got ousted from Nova. So, so you're not wrong with that line of reasoning.
Speaking of Nova, y'all ready to head over?
I feel as if we wasted
Stall,
enough time
stall.
here.
I have a full book bag of what I think appropriate reading for Katrina could be. Should we run into her?
I mean, the plan is we're going to run into her.
Yeah. Like, I might have a book by Malcolm X, or Audre Lorde, or somebody who understands this. A couple comic books with Magneto as a...
I gotta reckon
Is
with
a
like the
good
Marvel
role
comic
model.
canon to our universe, because that's gonna do some things to this universe. I gotta reckon with that at some point. While I deal with that, you all are
Magneta.
fine.
I was gonna get a cup of
there it
coffee
is.
during Katrina.
Okay, I'll accept that.
She's gonna try to be nice.
Wait.
All right.
Magnetism. It's Magneto with autism.
Thank you, Ollie.
I can
I'm
see
in.
All
that.
right.
I don't know
Not
what's
just
going on, but I'm in.
All right.
That isn't just Magneto.
You're not. Anyway,
Fair.
that's a whole separate TED talk. We'll get there some other time.
It's like,
That aside, you all are able to pay for your meal pretty quietly and make a short, it's actually, funnily enough, only maybe about an 8 or so block walk from the coffee shop you're currently in to the front of Nova HQ. You walk through the front door of the incredibly massive, almost helix-shaped building rising high in the skyline. And the sort of, 4-room you enter, the massive, I guess you'd call it a lobby, and given that it's a big enough building, you end up seeing well, again, there's a large reception desk at the front where there's several different agents who are all, assisting with various things or apparently offering several things. You can see teams moving in and out. Some are heading back. Some are moving towards the large set of elevators. Some are moving out into the field. In general, it does seem that there's a little bit of busyness. In fact, Fives, it even seems a little bit more busy than it usually is.
makes sense. They did just have that big ass announcement yesterday, so
Mm-hmm.
the Fives will think nothing of it.
Otherwise, you're freely able to approach the desk if you'd like, friends.
I
I
approach.
guess. Yeah. The Fives will try to
Ride my Heelys across the lobby.
Hustle to keep up with the Heelys. And Aurelia's quick walk.
The four of
Aurelia
you-
walks like a gay man through New York City. Just full sprint, but also one foot is constantly up.
True that.
Olympic power walkers? No. Gay men of New York.
Well, as the four of you power walk or Healy glide or otherwise tepidly approach the front desk, you are greeted by what looks again just like a simple Nova menial wearing a standard bureaucratic suit and a sort of simple focused face. And they originally appear to kind of just, stay a bit focused on their task until they see the four of you approach and pipe up. And it looks to be a younger-ish woman, maybe about mid-20s perhaps. And has what looks to be sort of like a simple badge on and things like that. And you can see her ID tag hanging down from her, from a lanyard. And at the front of it, it just says, says, last name K, and then the first name is Bernice. And she just, oh, hello there. Is there something I can do to help the four of you? Oh, yes.
I would like to see Katrina Victory.
And I'd like a couple
Thank
$1,000 in my
you.
account, but that doesn't mean that's gonna happen. I'm sorry, I should handle the bit more professional. Nature of your request?
I would like to see Katrina victory. It is important.
Right.
It means about what?
Well, given the nature of Aurelia's situation, it's kind of confidential. I don't know if we can talk about it here.
Oh.
I'm bullshitting out my ass.
Oh, are you the? Oh, well, give me a moment. I'm gonna just, if you'll pardon, and she reaches to this to be like a comm center of her to her right, picks up a bit of a receiver and starts to tap at it.
While she's doing this, just happen to be, if I were to kind of lean into my delinquent tendencies, anything just kind of like sitting around her desk that's not attached that might be in relation to getting around this building. Say like a government ID or
Well, her ID is on her lanyard, so that's gonna be hard to get off of her immediately. As far as
is there a guest pass one that gets you into like just limited areas? Chance?
I'm gonna say
You know those blanks, those blank cards. We have them at my job. At last
Here's what I'm gonna do.
But now we all work from home, so there's no. It's just the key to your house.
Here's what I'm gonna do for you. Here's what I'm gonna do for you. I would like you to roll me a d6.
Roll 1d6. I think I did that right. 3.
Three.
Threes.
It's a lot more. The threes
The night
continue.
of threes.
Honestly,
Whose
it's night of
angel
three.
number is 3? And how can I fight you?
So I'll say this, Cleo. You quickly kind of look at the desk while she's looking at things, and you're not immediately seeing things like, guest passes or blank IDs or anything like that. You do see, at least you get a good glance at a map, effectively, like a layout of the sort of like building, as it were. You can kind of see that there's, a few areas of like general offices and things like that in the first few levels up. Above that are a few what are called like what are called basically like ready rooms. So that's places where teams can kind of get themselves prepped up for deployment and things like that, and equipment and so places like that. Above that, you have some semi-permanent living spaces where agents who are not deployed and don't have places to stay can can get some rest and be directly at HQ. Above that, you have R&D. This yes. What goes on there. And then above that, you have some of the admin offices. And then, of course, you have the sub-levels where there looks like there are various links. The sub-levels aren't listed what they are. They're just numbered. Sub-levels 1. There are 30 in total. It takes a moment.
Put Grayson on the very bottom floor. In that case. He could be deeper down.
Because I was trying to lean into the "Are you watching closely?" move that I have.
Oh, okay. Talk me to that.
I want to spill my coffee on her desk while she's like pounding this button in. I'm just gonna fumble it, just totally fumble it. And in the process of trying to clean it up, I'm gonna just try to steal anything that's on this desk that I might be able to get my hands on. That could.
That move.
So, are you watching closely? Is when you mislead, distract, or trick someone, roll plus superior. On a hit, they are fooled for at least for a moment. On a 10+, choose 3. 7 to 9, choose 2. On a miss, you're hopelessly embroiled in it, and you are under pressure. Mark a condition.
Let's see the roll.
No 3s.
I roll 3. I demand a reroll. Let's see.
You're kidding.
Did you roll
You're
a 3?
actually kidding.
Did you roll
You're
a 3?
fucking kidding.
Did you roll
I
a
didn't
3?
roll correctly, because isn't it you roll 2d6 and I only rolled 1d6.
Yeah, it's 2d6.
So
Wait, didn't you roll 2? Because this says 1 plus 2.
I just see rolling 1d6 on my side.
I see. The first one
Oh.
you rolled was a 1,
I
and the
see
second one you rolled was a
Banshee Cleo
2.
rolls, are you watching closely? 1 + 2 + 0, miss.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Is roll 20
For
bugging?
me on my end, it's just showing.
Roll 20's being weird. Swing it again. Go ahead.
Hit it again.
Here, I'm just gonna do this. 2d6. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
Thank
you got?
God.
It's a 10.
All right, much better.
That's what happens when you roll 2 dice instead of 1. I don't think I added it correctly.
That's fine. Not a problem. So now here's what I think.
Maybe I did. But
Here's what's gonna happen here, friend. It's not about stealing anything off of her desk, but it's as you're
I want to
you know.
memorize these floor plans.
Yeah, I'll let you do that certainly. But I think along with that, after you spill your coffee and she just it just starts kind of fumbling around for a cleaning supply, or like clearly kind of changes her call to call for like janitors or someone to come and assist her, and like is kind of talking with them while like trying to dab at with a towel. Her ID falls out of her lanyard.
What?
You have her ID until she notices it's gone, at least. So good luck. And with that, you just I'm so sorry. Just someone will handle that in just a moment. I was putting a call through for you all. If you could just. And then suddenly her receiver rings. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it's. Yes, all 4 of them. Right, of course.
I'm looking around for a camera. Where is this bitch looking at us from?
There's cameras everywhere here, Cleo.
It's no HQ, babe.
Did the camera catch me stealing that, or because I did amazing? I'm still wonderful and great, right?
I think you're. Yeah, I mean, you don't know, but yeah, I think you're fine.
I mean, they can at least see well enough to count how many of us there are, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. And thus, Bernice hangs
I would
up
like
and
to
just...
make one of the things, because I get to pick 3. I avoid future entanglement about this issue.
Sure. Then you'll
We got the
certainly make it out
opportunity,
before she
we
notices.
exposed a weakness and flaw, and we're avoiding further entanglement. Bye!
Certainly. Then we'll make sure that you'll get out of this before she notices her ID is gone. So, do well with that. Nonetheless, she hangs up and just says, she's expecting the 4 of you.
Beautiful.
Expecting.
Elevators are right behind you. 5s, I'm certain you can show them.
Thanks, Miss K.
He smiles. And just lets the 4 of you pass. And
I
looks at you,
thought so.
Gladys. And really, it's no problem. It's fine. We'll get someone on this.
Oh, about the coffee spell?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have had 3rd one. Sorry, and she's just gonna back away and slowly slide a little ID badge into the back of her bra, where it will be under, like, that big pad of all the hooks for the big titty women at home who know. Like, the 7 hooks in the back that you can, like, latch it into is, like, what she's using to hold herself up.
Oh.
She's got them thick bras for them thick titties.
I am not too experienced with those, so thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
All right, well, Cleo's cleavage aside.
You can't see it. It's under her shirt right now, but she's just got big old titties.
The band shitties.
The big titties.
Banshee's bust aside.
Banshee boobs.
The 4 of you were able to make your way towards like a series of elevators. There's about 6 different elevators, and they're incredibly high tech and well made. And as you ascend up in them, I assume that you go in as 4. While the first few floors, there aren't really any like windows to see anything. Once you get about 11, 12 floors up, the elevator side of the elevator is now going directly kind of like running outside of the building. You can now see a wide sweeping morning lit scape of the whole of New Jump City as you are ascending. Go.
Is there like a vent in the elevator shaft? Like they have to have air in there somehow, right?
Yeah, I mean obviously, it's a it's a functional elevator. You can breathe.
So, wait, is there like a microphone in here that Aurelia could see?
There's probably like the like fire escape software.
Yeah, it's like standard
But,
stuff of
like,
like your
contact
fire escape
outside.
speaker and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you guys would almost see Aurelia open her mouth and then like look around again and then choose not to speak. Cause like in her head, she was like, if they weren't gonna let her in, she was gonna find that bitch regardless.
Yeah, maybe better to keep that one as an inside thought.
Charlie on a warpath. Anyway. Any other thoughts as you all ascend and take a look at the bright, wide scape of your city?
Mel, how far... Do we have limits on how we should act today? How much decency do we need to treat this fascist with, is what I'm asking. Sorry,
Could you
Fives.
say that again, please?
Oh, it's
I
okay.
like zoned out like crazy. That's my fault. I'm so sorry.
No, I asked how much decency do we have to treat the fascist with?
Oh, Aurelia doesn't say anything. I'm sorry to
I know
ask you
some
to reply and then not say anything. I'm so sorry.
I know some of you care about appearances.
I mean, you could just say names.
I feel like as soon as she
We
said
know who you're
that,
talking
Aurelia
about, Kale.
turned
Mel,
towards-
Fives. I feel like you both do. Mel's got a whole like power family that
Just be respectful. You're like any other authority figure.
What a great rule to go by. Or Cleo.
I'm not one to involve myself in these issues, but I do not think bringing up authority figures to Cleo is the best idea.
Yeah. Well, maybe not, but
I've only
Cordial.
bitten
I know.
and concussed like a handful of them.
Cordial. Nothing that will be a
pretend
barrier
you respect her.
to our discussion.
I want you
For
to know
you.
that I will on Grayson's behalf. But I want to punch her in the vagina.
Fuck.
That's
Is that a common self-defense tactic here?
no.
It's debilitating for those with feminine genitalia.
I'm trying not to mention how Foxy made my character have genitalia.
Oh my god.
I don't
I'm
want
trying
Aurelia to
so
be
fucking
like,
hard tonight. Can we please?
Oh,
oh, genitalia. I recently found out what that was.
Oh.
I mean,
But she's
to
not
be
gonna say
fair,
that.
knowing Victory, she probably has like a fucking armor plate down there or some shit.
She just keeps a cup on her.
She does seem smart enough for that. Should we be having cups on it? Cup?
I don't know. How often do you get punched in the vagina?
What's
So far, it
Right.
hasn't happened yet.
I have also not experienced such a.
Fell off my bike once, and I hit like that center bar with all my downstairs mixed up, and that fucked me up.
Okay, just like tangent real quick, because you like brought me to the past when I was like 5 years old. I like rode my bike down my driveway and it was like on a slope and I hit my garage doors and I had to ice my nether regions for a bit. That shit hurts as fuck.
I
Don't do
split
that.
my business open. I don't know if I can say some of these words on the internet.
That's
Hey, all right. Okay.
We gotta move. We gotta.
Foxy, you knew this was gonna happen when you put this table together. I'm sorry.
I feel like you derailed a little bit. I'm gonna bring us back in, if that's okay with everybody.
How long
And
is
the
the elevator ride?
This is a wild
There's a
elevator
lot of
ride.
floors.
It
There's
sure
a lot
is.
of floors, guys.
Yeah,
All
the
building.
elevator slows to a stop at what appears to be about the 34th floor. And you find your door opens to a very small, very direct hallway, in front of which is another door, outside of which are 4 armed Nova guards to another side.
Okay. Aurelia just walks up.
No one stopped you.
Yeah, she just goes through the doors or whatever.
Aurelia heads in first. I'm assuming the rest of you follow behind.
I'm
Yep.
hoofing it. I am back up.
All right.
I'm also not that fast, so I am perspirating, trying to keep up.
The 4 of you step through and find yourselves in what looks to be a wide open. It almost looks at first like you're not even really in the building anymore, because it almost seems like the floor itself is reflective, perhaps. But you realize it's also just like, it's really just a very flat, matte black, and the light is thus reflecting from the wide windowscape all around this otherwise, pinnacle of this building here. There are a myriad of screens and monitors all showing wide displays of things from all across New Jump City, and set into the middle of the room and fully circular desks surrounded by hollow displays and images and things like that is sat the imposing figure of one Nova director, Katrina Victory. How do you approach?
Aurelia goes up with her, but reasonably enough that she's not in her face, but she's close enough that if Aurelia screamed or used too many P words, she might get spit on her face.
Noted.
And she just didn't say Katrina Victory.
Quietly wheels around. Aurelia, a pleasure to see
Did she
you.
wheel around like a villain? Full spin in her chair, villain?
I mean, not literally fully wheeled around, but it's more was at an angle to you and just kind of wheeled slightly towards you.
Aurelia.
Bitch!
A pleasure to see you again. With company, I see.
Yes.
Milena? Gives it a slight nod.
Like a coffee?
She looks at it. I'm fine, but thank you.
Is her assistant in the room?
Yes, directly behind her, as always. He looks down at Katrina. Steps forward. Takes it. Steps back.
I wouldn't
Single
expect him to take it. That's actually what a plot point there. No, I'm kidding. I really didn't expect this motherfucker to do it. But okay, after that fucking exchange, okay, I'll let her finish.
She'll turn and just... Zuchi? Pleasant to see you back in the field and comfortable. Are you healed well from your last fight?
Yes, ma'am.
And you? Hero named the Banshee, yes?
I found these books for you. You should consider reading them.
Without, blinking at all, when I have time.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I feel like you're not going to read these, and you're just going to keep doing whatever you want to do with your time.
What do you know? She's clever.
I'd ask you to reconsider.
You didn't come here to ask me for reading. How can I assist you?
Katrina Victory. When we initially made our agreement, I believed it was so I did not have to intervene in the affairs of the people. With what you have caused me to intervene in, I brought the child to you with the hope that my part in it would allow the child to have a normal life. But it seems as if those are not the conditions he's currently living in.
She looks up. You might be new around here, Aurelia, but one of your friends might be able to inform you of how often it is for a normal person to be able to atomize a small city.
Fuck, what did Cleo say? Okay. I believe you can do what's necessary and also treat the child with empathy and compassion.
Grayson is
Dignity.
not being harmed. He's being watched, properly fed, allowed for enrichment, and ensured to be make sure that he's taken care of.
Enrichment.
Is this enrichment iPad time?
I just was relevant to either of you.
Wait, say that again, please.
I don't see why that's relevant to either of you.
Because the way you treat Grayson is the way you treat all heroes and villains and
Grayson?
people of power.
Grayson is not a hero or a villain. He's a threat.
He's a child.
He can be both.
He's a person.
He can be both.
This is what you do with every threat to Nova.
Tell me, Cleona, do you feel you have proper management of your own powers? Or do you still regret what happened with your family?
Oh, I still have plenty of regrets. But I also love my family because they've nurtured me and helped me overcome a lot of that sorrow in English and given me the space to learn and grow.
And I'm very, very glad that you had that. Grayson's only known family is an at-large villain who has been openly attacking Nova strongpoints for the last several months, along with several other villainous accomplices. You could see why leaving him in the open to other influence might not be exactly on my agenda.
Well, I am not asking you to do that. I am asking you to provide proper socialization and allow him to have at least some semblance of a normal life. I think Leona brings up great points when it comes to passion and enrichment. In terms of kindness, please allow him to be in a more suitable environment for a child. May it be under Nova's eyes, but at least with proper visitation from those who care about him. Maybe not his uncle.
She takes a moment, fixes you all with a very hard stare. If I'd had the time to take advice from teenagers on all of my affairs, I'd be running a very different operation than the one that I am now. This is an attempt to shift all of your labels. Savior down, mundane up.
You better not touch my fucking mundane.
Damn.
Can I counter with something?
What you got?
I vocally counter.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna vocalize, and I guess this will also count as me resisting. Mel is going to say something that you really need to consider in this. As a child, he needs normalcy. He needs socialization and enrichment. From what I can tell, he hasn't been going to school. And that's something that we can take. No. Oh, sorry. That's something that we can actually utilize.
She takes a moment.
If you use someone you trust, that he trusts, get it, and someone he trusts to give him classes, you can assess him intellectually and emotionally without him knowing, completely discreetly.
She quirks an eyebrow. Interesting. Anyone trying to resist her influence shift, I need you all to quickly roll. It's just a flat 2d6. There's no stat attached to it.
I mean, I wanted to reject your influence. I just don't want to fail. Reject
Well,
your-
I hate to
Let's
say it,
find out.
darling, but you are playing a game with dice that have ones on them.
You said
hate
2d6?
that.
Oh shit! I full hit on reject influence.
Let's fucking go.
All right.
Damn. All right.
God damn it.
What do we got?
Uh,
How do I know if I pass?
It's higher than 6.
I passed.
What you got?
What does the team pool do for you again?
Let me remember. I need to double check. I'm pretty sure you can pull from the team pool. So there's actually 2 things you can do here. You can pull from the team pool to do the following things. So anybody working with the team could spend 1 team for a teammate, giving them +1 on one of their rolls. So someone could spend here to the team pool to add +1 to somebody else's roll. You could also take from it selfishly by telling us like how you're influenced, how you do something selfishly, and then you take from the team pool and shift your label somewhat. That said, what do we get so far? Just so I can make sure.
I have a 6, so
That's 1 failure.
I have a 12.
I have a full hit.
An 8.
That's a hit.
I have a 5, but I'm okay with doing a team move to help Corndog.
Okay. Well, before that, I'm gonna offer this because this is actually a fun kind of chaining of a move. So first off, for our 2 folks who passed, 5s you get to pick 2 from the list. Or you get to pick 1. Here's the list. Clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift 1 label up and 1 label down, your choice. Cancel their influence and take 1 + 1 forward against them. So 5s, you can pick 2 from that list. Aurelia, pick 1. If someone wants to clear a condition and immediately prove them wrong, I have an idea on what you could do.
I would like to hear that.
Another move you have is the defend someone option. Given that 2 of your friends failed here, you could take this moment to speak up for your friends. Effectively defend the people being talked down here, which are, all of you.
What exactly was it that she said again to like demean us? I
Basically,
don't remember.
like, if I took
But
advice from
teenagers.
teenagers, I'd be running a very different. Yeah, she basically was like, "You're kids. I don't need to listen to kids."
Yeah.
Okay, so I will do that. I will clear a condition of mine, which I'm clearing insecure.
Okay, go ahead and clear that.
Actually helps me defend somebody.
Yeah,
And then
go ahead and clear that. And
I
then
will.
to defend someone is going to be rolling plus savior. You go ahead and make that roll. While 5, what are you picking from the reject influence list?
No, I missed. No, yeah, I super missed. Fuck.
We'll also try to prove them wrong and defend.
All right.
And I would like to take +1 forward against Katrina.
Keep in mind that also cancels her influence.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. What?
I think this is a big
So-
moment. 5s, go ahead and roll this defend someone. This is also going to give you +1 forward because you have +1 forward against her for now.
Let me write this down really quick. +1 forward against KV.
You got it.
Alright, so...
To defend someone, you're going to roll plus savior. Or, yeah, did I have that right? Yes, you're going to roll plus savior.
Plus savior. And... I get +1 forward. How's a 9?
A 9 is a hit. Let's see, for NPC threats, choose 1 from the list. So it's 7 9. It does cost you. So actually, this is how I'm gonna rule this. So first off, you are going to still get to pick 1 from the. Sorry. So on a hit, you keep them safe and choose 1. So you're gonna choose 1 from the list. You can add 1 to the team pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
Wait, hold on. Let me go back and read. So I already cleared a condition by doing the clear condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I will clear angry there, and then for my defend, I would like to take influence over Cleo.
Cleo, 5 is taking influence over you. And now, I think this is actually a really powerful moment I want to focus in on. Something especially up for one.
I have an idea for how this might play out.
Yeah, go for it. This is directly after. I think this is immediately after Mel has kind of made their argument about offering Grayson some normalcy, and she kind of quirked an eyebrow and kind of looking at you all, measuring the weight of you all. 5s.
Yeah. I think 5s will clear their throat and say, if I may interject, Ms. Victory.
You may, Agent 5.
The principles of Nova have instilled upon me that us young heroes are the beacon of light that will carve the path of the city forward. Mel's idea about teaching Grayson is just proof of this. Just one example.
She quirks an eyebrow. Sorry, really, is there a finger up there?
Yeah, there is. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt because I didn't know if so she was done talking, but I also want to add something. I don't know if I can like roll for this or something.
I do have another thing to say, but go for it.
No, I kind of want to hear you say the thing, and then maybe I'll say my thing.
Okay. And what is Nova without the people that Nova has been able to develop? That Nova has been able to train? Nova should be a guiding force.
She quirks an eyebrow a bit more. Aurelia, do you still want to add in?
Yeah, I don't know if this is like defending, but I do want to make a point.
Hey,
I don't know if you want me to roll for it.
Say anything first.
Okay, I'm trying to like get into my bitch mode real quick. Sorry, I'm using my nice voice. Miss Katrina Victory, you spoke about control with potential threats. You mentioned our companion, Cleona, but isn't Cleona an example of what can come from great power that is treated with compassion and love and care and enrichment?
She quirks an eyebrow, looks at you all for a bit longer, sits back in her seat. Once per week, no more than the 4 of you. 45-minute sessions, 15-minute recess, an additional 30 minutes for enrichment and personal play. That is my final offer.
This bitch. Okay.
I was just gonna take it, to be honest, but if someone else wants to push further.
I mean, if you're gonna take it, I think Aurelia would look over to see, cause like, okay, baseline, Aurelia doesn't know what's good for the kid. She's just going based off what everybody else is saying. So I think baseline, she'll look at the 2 people who are like pushing it the most, which would be Mel and Cleona.
Yeah.
Cleo.
While you're all sitting there quietly, she sighs. 3 times a week, 4 if it's a holiday.
Aurelia nods.
Four times 5, it's a holiday. You don't want him to get antsy and depressed. That'll just aggravate his powers. You heard what we talked about last time.
Sorry, Mel. He should be allowed to go outside and breathe air and see the sun.
Accepted. But do not expect me to bargain with things in the future.
Because I want
I'm gonna-
somebody to I'm sorry, I just want somebody to shake on it, but it can't be Aurelia.
Fives will speak up in that case and say, just as Nova thinks Grayson is a unique anomaly, so do my friends. This won't happen again.
Very well then. It's your responsibility, Five. If anything goes wrong, it means you will be held accountable for it.
Thank you for your trust.
Dismissed. A lot of you.
I'm gonna put Sister Outsider on her desk. And be like, start here. And then I'm gonna leave the rest of the books and comic books that I brought with.
You all turn to leave. A word of advice. Guidance without control is difficult. Control is a vacuum. If you don't fill it, something will.
Like you?
Worse than me. She turns back around.
Did you guys hear that? She thinks there's people worse than her.
This actually reminds me of something that we should probably discuss in the privacy of an area where they cannot hear us.
Miss Victory?
Melina,
How long were you expecting us?
I prepare for every contingency. I leave nothing outside of my purview, and little to chance. That is all you need to know.
Yeah. Turned
And
in.
know... Sorry, go ahead.
Go.
And know that when it comes to this city, nothing is outside my jurisdiction.
That sounds like a match over the gas can that is Cleo.
Just like
Well,
big
I'm
brother,
not doing this on purpose or anything.
big brother ass bitch.
I'm gonna set her car on fire.
I don't think she even uses one. She just uses her fucking
She just
like
teleports.
assistant homie to like teleport everywhere.
Then I'm gonna blow up the car of every person that she cares.
Does she have those? The assistant homie's car? He
I
probably
mean, the
just teleports
assistant is literally like her gatekeeper, so she better care about it.
Sweet. What if
I
he
don't
doesn't
know.
have a car?
She seems like the selfish type who, like, probably, like, all the people she cared about died or something, which is, like, pushed her to be this, like, insane bitch or some shit.
That makes
Or she
imagine they got
experimented
killed
on
by,
them and killed
imagine
them
wait,
all.
wait, wait. Imagine if all of her family got killed by an altered.
This sounds like
Watch
this
the
discussion
face
we had
erasing.
when we're off camera.
Imagine she's listening to us talking about this while we're going down
In the elevator, and she's just like,
the nerve of these fucking children.
All right, note to self: avoid this party in elevators going forward. It never works out well for you guys.
to be fair, Cleo would not threaten blowing up cars inside this.
I was gonna
Well-
say, if we're gonna end here, can we just make it a note that the last thing Big Girl kind of said was like powers, like worse than me or something, like control worse than me or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, no, the thing we're gonna come back on is Aurelia saying she wanted to talk with the group about something that wasn't said here. Don't worry, I won't forget that. It's in my notes.
Okay, cause I will forget.
Put it
Well,
in
in
your
that case-
notes.
To make things very short and simple, I believe as our party exits out into the wild, the camera passes past Victory's desk out into the wide cityscape of New Jump City ahead of us. We bring tonight's episode to a dramatic conclusion. I thank you all for coming out to one more episode of New Jump City Sirens. I'll keep it very short and simple and pass it around to my players. Please, in the order that I call you out, tell me who you are, who you played, and where you can be found on the internet. Let's start with Meg.
Hello, I am Meg and/or Meg Mysteria, and I played Mel or Melina Dracos, who is, making deals with the devil. It'd be like that.
I mean, what?
Yeah, well, but as far as where you can find me coming up next Tuesday, I'll be right back here on Neon Lights for our next installment of Tears of Divinity Fading Chronicle. He's pointing at me very aggressively, and
I'm pointing at the audience. They should be there.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
That's not the point. I don't know.
It was a pointing that was very aggressive, and I was taking it back.
I'm
Anyway.
sorry, I love you. You're great.
And a couple weeks later on a Sunday of May that I can't remember. I can't remember what date it actually is. I'll be back over on Singularity Roleplay for our next episode of Five Winds of Tomorrow's Apocalypse, our City of Mist campaign, where I will hopefully be fixing the overlay so I'm no longer a ghost in the machine. But that's it for me, so... Oh.
Ghost in the Meg Sheen. Sorry, I had to make the joke. Somebody. Let's go ahead and give it over to Corn Dog.
Nice to meet Corn Dog. You can catch me tomorrow over on Crits and Giggles, where I will be playing Juno, our Twilight Domain cleric, into Dragon One. And then you can catch me here on Monday in Oathsworn. Odyssey of the Dragon.
The other Dragon one.
The other Dragon
One.
There's so many goddamn. Yeah. Or find me on the internet, or don't. Do whatever you want. Okay, bye.
Glad to have you on board, gang. Let's pass it over to Ollie next.
Yo, I'm Ali, or Ali P Senpai. I stream sometimes, mostly on Sundays now, because I am a tired bitch with a full-time job that they wrote me into. But besides that, I'm on Ali P Senpai, and then I play D&D on Archmage Freya's stream. Like every weekend. It's been over a year. It's been pretty nice. I like being a druid. I'm not a furry, but there's nothing wrong with furries.
Not a furry. Not a furry.
Not a furry, but there's nothing wrong with furries. Give it up to my furry friends out there. Shout out to Spree. I love her.
Shout out furries, shout out Spree, shout out Archmage Freya, and shout out Ollie for being with us. And last but not least, of course, let's pass it over to Eggchan.
Hey, hi, I'm Emily or Eggchan. You can find me as Eggchan on Twitch or as Egg Space Chan on Itch, because sometimes I write games, I guess. You can find me here on Saturday afternoon for our Beacon game, Knights of New Avalon. Yeah. That's where I am on the internet.
And we're super glad to have you right here hanging out with us. And I guess
Wait,
that brings you back over to... Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt you before you introduce yourself, but I also want to say that brings us back over to our wonderful game master, fucking Foxy, who put this shit together and is doing such a wonderful job. So thank you so much for the game. You popped the fuck off.
What? Yeah,
Let's
don't
hear
you
for him.
do that. Don't you do that. All right. Hi, friends. If you somehow don't know who I am by now, I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Phillies finest. I'm over there at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII, occasionally with underscore in the middle. If you're looking for me, I hang out here a lot. I am creative director of Neon Lights Roleplay. This is a lovely place I put together with all my lovely friends, and they're all great to have around. If you want to see more of me for some fucking reason, next place you'll see me is, as mentioned, this Saturday for Knights of New Avalon, our Beacon Odyssey, where I play the little guy with the most swords. And then I'll be back again, as already mentioned, on next Tuesday for Tears of Divinity Fading Chronicle, where I'm going to be really fucking sad. Come find out why. Elsewise, it's been a great time, and it's been incredible. I want to thank you all for coming out and having a good time with us. I hope you all remember that the future is in your hands. You alone have the power to shape it, so do so with all of that knowledge. Remember to take care of yourselves and everybody else around you. This has been Jump City Sirens. We have been Yellow Lights Roleplay, and you have all been incredible. Have the best night possible. Night, everybody.